night, teacher. I hope that you are fine. So we are going to present our investigation. The topic is develop critical thinking by means of this course in ELF children of ninth degree in a private school. We are Lina Lopez, Elizabeth Fajardo, and Brenda Cañon. Our research question is how to develop critical thinking in ELF by means of this course and short stories in students of ninth degree in Lorenzo y Alcantus School. Now we find 20 articles. Basically, our topics are critical thinking and discourse, ELT, and telling short stories and didactic material. We find 10 articles about critical thinking and discourse, 4 articles about ELT, and the last 6 articles about telling short stories and didactic material.
One article of the critical thinking that we found was the country was Slovakia, and the thesis is the topic of critical thinking is a STEM but being introduced and implemented in the educational process by our teachers. One undidactic material that we found was the country is Italy, and the thesis is the research wants to show whether young children are capable of learning exploring strategies by observation shows whether children can learn through observation alone. One of ELF was the country is Taiwan, and the thesis is facilitating students' critical thinking and decision-making performance a flight classroom for natal health care.
Okay, we are going to present our main man. The principal topic is critical thinking. We find some problems that is about the absence of the critical thinking in these specific topics. Reading strategies to teachers, in this case in the curriculum, skills, methods, absence of discourse, language skills and social emotional skills, knowledge constructors, comprehension, support arguments, critical thinking skill and localization, critical analytic thinking, formative assessment, communication, standardization in content structure, physical and technological sources. There are schools that don't have resources of any kind. Also, information to know the characteristics of the contents, tailor content to focus, ignore the meaning of what is done, and the last is activity board with purpose. So this is basically our problems that we find in all the articles that we did present you. Now to talk about the strategies, we find these that in this case the articles talk about the sessions at class, the discourse, a specific topic in making different questions, literature review about spotting analysis and synthesis, summary and questions, and the last is watching institutional videos.
Okay. On the other hand, we have the population. For example, we have, okay, we are going to start with the methods. Come on. With the methods, interviews, questionnaires, classes, reading, for example, some stories, comics, poems, and among others. The other one are, for example, field observation, principal research, secondary research, already graduating students, games, and what? Auditory material. And to continue, we have the population. For example, we have primary school children, teenagers or adolescents, students from a study program, physical education and sports, students, undergraduate and secondary, and etc. The other one, please. Finally, we can find in our projects some solution that we found during this research. Talk about the positive and negative effects, solve problems in collaborating, giving them the authority to create, maintain, and achieve. Motivate the students, develop a new approachment, the study groups, facilitate the process of the teaching learning, and among others. To conclude, this research has been a lot of import for us because we can find many things, especially we can find many articles that help us to develop the our research with this a lot of information that we have on these articles. For example, we can find that the development critical thinking we can find it in another fields, for example, like a medicines, like a debate, like a society, and among others. So also, this is important, develop a critical thinking as a second language, especially in English, because both are so important for our life, especially because you can using for children. As we said before, we can use it in babies, in kids, in children's, in teenagers, and finally in adults. So this is really important because critical thinking is essential in our society because children and adults can define their ideas and their arguments when they talk about they their topics or new topics in political and another fields, as I said before. So this is so important for us, this research. So, Professor, this is it. This is our presentation by Lina, Rosillo Lopez, Brenda, Elizabeth.